the Bears' coaching staff could be on the verge of a major shakeup. One rising star is suddenly being hunted by powerhouse franchises. And another key defensive mind might be walking straight out the door. Are we really about to watch the foundation of this staff get picked apart right when momentum is building? If you love Real Bears talk, smash the like button, share this with another fan, and hit subscribe for daily updates. Let's get into it, because this isn't just coach rumors anymore. This is the kind of movement that can quietly reshape the future of a franchise. The big name in the middle of all of this right now is Declan Doyle. Earlier, it felt like the situation was settled. He had pulled himself out of consideration for Philadelphia's offensive coordinator job, and everyone assumed that meant he was staying put. End of story, right? Not even close. Because now the Baltimore Ravens have officially requested an interview with him, and this changes everything. Here's the part people need to understand. This isn't some random courtesy interview. This is a serious move. Baltimore just hired Jesse Minter as head coach, and he's a defensive-minded leader. That matters, because it means the offensive coordinator job in Baltimore would come with real power, real play-calling authority, real control, and real influence over the offense. That's not a small opportunity. That's a career-defining one. And honestly, from a football perspective, Baltimore might be one of the most attractive situations in the entire league. You're talking about working with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. That alone changes the equation. You've got an MVP-level quarterback, an elite power back, and an offense that can be molded into a nightmare matchup for defenses. The potential to blend a creative passing attack with a violent, dominant run game is massive. That's the kind of system that makes coordinators famous. And let's be real, a healthy Lamar Jackson is a different level of quarterback. Electric, dynamic, and capable of carrying an offense in ways very few players in the NFL can. That's not disrespect to anyone else, that's just reality. So now the question becomes, did Declan Doyle walk away from Philadelphia because he wasn't ready? Or did he walk away because he didn't like the situation? Because those are two very different stories. Philadelphia is a pressure cooker. 2 recent offensive coordinators became head coaches, but 2 also got fired after just 1 year. That's a brutal environment for a first-time play caller. 1 bad season and your reputation takes a hit before it even has time to grow. Baltimore, on the other hand, feels like stability. Less chaos. Less noise. More structure. More patience. More room to build. And even if Doyle doesn't get the job, the interview itself still matters. These conversations build credibility. They build league-wide reputation. They position him as a future play caller. A future leader. Maybe even a future head coach if things break right for him. The bigger message here is simple. When franchises like Philadelphia and Baltimore are calling your name, you're no longer just a promising assistant. You're a respected football mind. So now Bears fans have to start thinking long-term. Because this isn't just about one interview, it's about the league noticing your people. And that's always a double-edged sword. It means success, but it also means risk. And while that situation is unfolding, there's another one that might hit even harder emotionally. This one feels real. Not rumors. Not noise. Real connections. Real history. Real danger. Mike McCarthy, now the head coach in Pittsburgh, has deep ties to Al Harris. They go back years. Head coach. Player. Staff. Trust. Respect. Shared football philosophy. That relationship matters in this league more than fans sometimes realize. And here's the scary part. McCarthy is an offensive head coach. Which means if Alshon Harris goes to Pittsburgh, it wouldn't be as a background piece. It would be his defense. His system. His philosophy. His identity on that side of the ball. That's power. That's control. That's legacy-building opportunity. Pittsburgh isn't just another job, it's a historic franchise with defensive tradition, elite talent, and a culture built around tough, physical football. For a defensive coach, that's a dream scenario. Other teams might flirt with interest. But this one feels different. This one feels legitimate. This one feels dangerous. And Bears fans already dodged one bullet when Green Bay hired Jonathan Gannon. This one might not be so easy to avoid. If Alshon Harris leaves, it's not because of chaos. It's because of opportunity. And that's the hardest kind of loss to swallow, when you can't blame dysfunction, money, or mismanagement. Just ambition and timing. If you could only keep one, Declan Doyle or Alshon Harris, who are you choosing, and why? Because that choice alone tells you what kind of future you believe in more, offensive evolution or defensive identity. Now let's shift to the front office side, because this part matters too. The Atlanta Falcons general manager search is heating up, and Ian Cunningham is right in the center of it. The connections are obvious. Matt Ryan is now president of football operations in Atlanta. Matt Ryan has strong ties to Ryan Poles. Ian Cunningham is Poles' top lieutenant in Chicago. This league runs on relationships. That's not conspiracy, that's reality. In-person interviews are starting, and if Cunningham is brought in face-to-face, that's a serious sign. That's not a courtesy. That's a candidate they're evaluating as a potential leader. Here's where it gets messy though, the draft compensation rules. Normally, when a minority candidate from your organization lands a GM or head coaching job, you receive compensatory draft picks. Valuable picks. Franchise-building picks. But because Atlanta created a new president of football operations role, there's a loophole argument that the GM job could be labeled as a lateral move. And that's where things feel wrong. Because in reality, the GM in Atlanta would have real roster control, real authority, real decision-making power. That's not lateral, that's upward movement. If the Bears lose Ian Cunningham and get nothing in return, that's a failure of the system, not the franchise. He's earned his opportunity. He's paid his dues. He's built his resume. And if he gets that job, he deserves it. But Chicago deserves fair compensation too. Now the final piece of news is at least something fans can feel good about. A Bears cornerback has been added to the Pro Bowl as an alternate, replacing Quinyon Mitchell due to injury. 5 interceptions. 8 total takeaways. A true breakout season built on big plays and impact moments. It wasn't a perfect year, there were ups and downs, but the production was real. The splash plays were real. The growth was real. And now he joins Kevin Byard, Joe Thuney, and Drew Dalman as Bears representatives. That matters for pride. It matters for reputation. And it matters for business. Because if he leaves in free agency, his value just went up. And that could turn into future draft compensation. Realistically, with Tariq Stevenson under contract and Jalen Johnson expected back healthy, it's hard to justify paying premium money at that position. Not when roster balance matters. Not when depth matters. Not when flexibility matters. So whether he stays or goes, the Bears benefit either way, either through talent or future picks. And that's the theme of this entire moment for Chicago. Opportunity and risk. Growth and exposure. Progress and pressure. When your coaches are getting interviews. When your executives are being recruited. When your players are getting recognition. It means you're building something real. But it also means the league is watching. And now the Bears are entering that dangerous stage where success attracts attention, and attention creates competition. So the real question isn't whether changes are coming. The real question is whether this organization is strong enough to survive them, and keep moving forward anyway. Because that's what real franchises do. They adapt. They evolve. They replace. They reload. And they keep building, no matter who tries to take their people. Bear down.